Stefon Diggs allegedly strangled his personal chef because she asked to be paid, and he's going to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. His court date got moved so he could play football. I need you to marinate in that for a second. Let it coat every wrinkle of your brain like a nice herb butter. The American justice system looked at a felony strangulation charge and said, yeah, but there's a big game coming up, guys, the Super Bowl. We can do the choking stuff later. All that choking stuff, it can wait. Football is more important than a woman getting choked. This man has been taking a liquid shit on the concept of karma for 3 straight years. And the universe just keeps handing him more trophies. Every time he does something fucked up, something beautiful happens to him. It's like watching someone repeatedly kick a puppy and then win the lottery. It's like watching a man set an orphanage on fire and then they find true love out of nowhere. The vibes are befouled. And I'm going to walk you through this man's rap sheet, and by the end of it, you will abandon all belief in cosmic justice. You will become spiritually nihilistic. So the chef situation. Stefon Diggs has a live-in private chef because when you make $21 million a year, you don't microwave your own hot pockets like a common peasant. You have someone else do it for you. Except he allegedly didn't want to pay her. She was owed a month's wages, and she asked for her money, and according to the police report, his response was to smack her across the face and then wrap his arm around her neck like a loving anaconda. She told police she had trouble breathing and felt like she could black out. When she tried to pry his arm away, he actually tightened his grip, like he really committed to the bit. Then he threw her onto a bed, and that's one way to handle payroll, I suppose. Most employers would just send a check. But Diggs allegedly decided to go with the chokehold method, a very hands-on management style, if we could say. The text messages are what really tickle my taint here. She texted him saying he wasted her time. His response, and I'm reading directly from the police report, was, "I won't be paying you. The fuck I look like? Paying you and another chef? Is you high?" Listen, sir, you look like a man who could buy an Applebee's franchise just with your signing bonus. You look like someone who could afford a chef for every food group. You could have a dedicated cheese guy, a man whose only job is to think about cheese for you. But instead of paying one human being for services rendered, you allegedly chose to compress her windpipe with your forearm. Now, if this was the only thing, I say, okay, maybe he just had a bad day. Maybe his dog died or something. Maybe he saw a particularly sad commercial. But this is not the only thing. This is not even close to the only thing. This man's list of alleged misdeeds reads like a CVS receipt. It just keeps going. There's always more receipt. There's also Mia Jones. Mia Jones is a reality TV personality, and Diggs is suing her for $1 million, claiming she rolled up to his apartment at 6 a.m, punched him in the chest, destroyed his $130,000 watch, and threw his phone in the toilet, and held him at gunpoint while saying, "You won't be playing this year." That's his version, at least. Her version is that he punched her in the back of the head and gave her a concussion. So we have two people pointing fingers at each other like the Spider-Man meme, and one of them definitely wore $130,000 on his wrist. I need to talk about this watch for a second. What does a $130,000 watch do? Does it tell you the future? Does it whisper secrets about the universe into your ear? Does it jerk you off? For $130,000, it better be jerking you off. You're just wearing a down payment for a house on your wrist, just to show people you have money. You're basically a peacock. But wait, there's more. We haven't even gotten to the Christopher Griffith situation, which is where things get really crazy. Christopher Griffith is a social media influencer who collaborated with Diggs on a fashion brand. In 2025, he publicly accused Diggs of drugging him with laced candy and attempting to assault him. Laced candy, like a witch in a fairy tale, like the villain in a children's story about stranger danger. Diggs denies all of this and is suing him for defamation. Griffith is, of course, countersuing for battery. Here's where I need you to put on your little detective hat, because we're entering the cinematic universe of fuckery. 1 week after this alleged incident at Diggs' house, exactly 7 days later, Diggs' brother, Derez, and two other gentlemen cornered Griffith in an elevator at his apartment building. There's surveillance footage too. They kicked him in the face, they ripped his jewelry off his neck, and they took his phone. Griffith claims he got leg fractures, ankle fractures, a torn meniscus, and a traumatic brain injury. Derez Diggs pled no contest to felony grand theft. You know what his punishment was? 2 years probation and 20 hours of community service. Take that in. 20 hours. That's like 2 weekends. You can beat a man so bad he gets brain damage, and your punishment is equivalent to helping out at a charity car wash twice. Justice is truly blind. Justice is also deaf and possibly in a coma. Stefon Diggs said he had absolutely no knowledge of his brother attacking the man who was publicly accusing him of assault. Essay. Just a crazy coincidence there. His brother spontaneously decided to commit a felony against this specific person 1 week after the accusations. These things happen. Sometimes your brother just independently chooses to violently assault your accuser. Of course it's not coordinated. It's just brotherly intuition. They have like a psychic bond of sorts. Now, before all the legal stuff, there was the just being a dickhead to your coworker stuff. This was on the Minnesota Vikings, and in 2019, after a loss, he simply just stopped showing up to work. He didn't come to practice, he didn't go to meetings, and no explanation. He just ghosted an entire NFL franchise. The Vikings fined him $200,000, which sounds like a lot until you remember the fact that he makes $21 million a year. That's like finding an average person $40. That's the price of being a little bitch for a week. Very affordable. And when reporters asked about trade rumors, he said, "I feel there's truth to all rumors," which is absolutely insane. That's just not how you answer that question. That's like your wife asking if you're cheating, and you say, "You know what? I feel there's truth to all rumors." Who's to say, really? The universe is mysterious. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. We can never truly know. You're supposed to deny it. They traded his ass. He went to Buffalo, and things were good for a while there. He got a Pro Bowl, some touchdowns. Him and Josh Allen were best friends at the time. A beautiful bromance there. And then the Bills lost a playoff game, and Diggs caught 4 passes for 35 yards, which is not fantastic numbers. And cameras caught him screaming at Josh Allen on the sideline. Then he left the stadium. Just left. Before the coaches got to the locker room, someone convinced him to come back, and then he left again. He tweeted the next day, "You want me to be okay with losing? Nah. You want me to be okay with our level of play? Nah. My brother in Christ, you caught 4 passes. You had 35 yards. You played like microwave dog shit and then yelled at your quarterback about standards." That's like burning up the dinner and then screaming at your spouse for not setting the table nice enough. Look inward. Examine thyself. Anonymous teammates told ESPN, "You always have to worry about how he feels." That can wear on a locker room. Another one said, "For a while, it was no way we could play without this dude. But then I thought, well, maybe we can do this without him." A former Viking source warned he will wear on your quarterback. The Bills ended up trading him too. They ate $31 million in dead cap money. That's the most any team has ever paid just to make a receiver go away. They lit $31 million on fire just to not deal with him anymore. That's how exhausting this man is. He's so tiring that an NFL franchise said, "Here's $31 million. Please leave and never come back." So he went to Houston, tore his ACL, and got released. That one was quick. The Patriots ended up signing him for $63 million because they didn't learn the easy way, and now he's going to the Super Bowl. His first one after 11 years. 11 years of allegedly choking employees and definitely being impossible to work with, and having his brother commit felonies against his accusers and leaving playoff games early, and then getting traded from every team he's ever been on. 11 years of that. And now he's going to the Super Bowl while his strangulation arraignment waits patiently in the wings. He told reporters, "I've been in the league for 11 years, man. I fell short so many times. I can't say nothing but perfect timing." Perfect timing. The court moved his felony hearing so he could play football, and he called that perfect. Perfect timing. And he's right. For him, it is perfect. The universe has reorganized itself around Stefon Diggs' schedule. Lady Justice peeked under her blindfold, saw there was a game coming up, and said, you know what? We'll circle back to that choking incident. Meanwhile, there's some guy out there who volunteers at soup kitchens, helps old ladies cross the street, and his car just got repossessed. There's some woman who donates to charity and never says a mean word, and she just got diagnosed with something awful. The universe does not give a shit about your good behavior. The universe is not taking notes. There is no cosmic accountant tallying up your deeds and distributing rewards accordingly. Stefon Diggs allegedly choked this chef over a pay dispute, and 3 weeks later, he's living his dream. That's not karma, guys. That's the opposite of karma. That's karma's evil twin who smokes cigarettes and sells fake Rolexes out of a van. I'm not saying he's guilty. Innocent until proven guilty and all that, right? The courts will decide on that. I'm just saying if karma existed, this man would be having a horrible time. His toast would always land butter side down. Every traffic light that he came to would be red. He'd step in a puddle every single day, even if it hasn't even rained. Small, persistent inconveniences delivered by a just universe. But instead, he's going to the Super Bowl, and his felony arraignment has been rescheduled around his availability. Karma does not exist. Stefon Diggs is living proof. The universe is chaos, and the chaos does not care if you are a good person. But hey, at least there's football. See ya.